Bing, bada, boom. Cheers. Oh, lost reception on the last one. It's okay. Oh my. Wonder if I put public on there. We can see right now. Don't have access. Okay. So one thumbs up. So there, hey, I'm live. Yay, it works. You're back. Yeah. It took a little bit. And hi, Tammy. Rebel Canners is here. Save. There you go. Rebel Canners. Sure learn a lot from that lady. She knows a lot about foraging and canning. It's great. Way to go. I know, right? I lost the transmission there of the, but yeah. Oh my. Yay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Saturday. Okay, so what's the Murcott you were talking about? Just propagation or specific? Or the Murcott is an orange, a type of orange, a very light orange that's got it's just juicy. Yeah, it's just beautiful. Good morning, Tammy. The Empress tree Polonia tementosa. What made you decide that? Well, the flower show, the purple flower show in the spring. And yes, good morning, Tammy. In the spring, it's the first profusion, and it grows really fast, and it has a huge leaf structure for chop and drop. I've been doing a lot of chop and drop with a friend of mine, and I have 4 or 5 friends from the village showing up to move my bark mulch today. Purple flowers in the spring. Oh, lovely. Yeah, it's the first big profusion of flowers. Nice leaf structure for chop and drop is great. Well, the thing is, you can go along and just tap the leaves and they all fall down. You don't have to sit there and prune them all, which is kind of cool. And oh, the crew comes today to move the chips. Oh, yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they all live in this village here at different addresses. So they'll come with trucks and cars and buckets and right. Yeah, and it happens all the time. I wonder where Mr. Jack's here. Wonder if Tammy's still here. I didn't see her again. Wonder if she's check out maybe. I hope that my reception didn't lose her. Oh, she's here. Yeah, Rebel Canners. Yeah. There we go. She says, good morning. Oh, and she's got her wrench. She's probably getting coffee or something. I learned a lot from her. Hey, you're still here. Good. Just drinking. I thought as much. Yeah. Good to see you there, Mr. Jack. Oh, my. That coffee, that first coffee is like, oh, thanks for thumbs up, too. But yeah, the wood chips is a mixture of, it's 30%, maybe 25% Norwegian vine maple with the leaves on it, which is really good. And there was an acacia tree there, which is really good for the IMOs here, or any of your microbes, even if you've introduced them. But it's really good for that, and it's good for humans too. and acacia fiber. It's really good for your brain and your gut health. And so when they cut that one down, I'm like, wow, I've never had one here because it's, that comes from Africa, right? But it comes from there, and you don't see that here very much, if at all. It's very rare. So when I watched it come down, it was so beautiful to see the tree, and then when it's gone, I'm like, well, wow. So there was a giant clematis that went through the oh yeah, you must know what's in your wood chips for toxicity. Acacia tree, they're able to communicate with other acacia trees, and there's been documented proof when giraffes come here and start eating here, the toxin tannin level in the acacia trees all around go up, so they don't get eaten by the giraffe. Right? I've never seen one because they grow in Africa, but there was one growing at the Secret Garden Lady, only one that I know of in Victoria here in the city. I don't know of any other ones. I've never even seen one for sale. Somebody planted that a long time ago. It was on from an old farm. Someone traveled there and brought it out here, but it was really tall and turned like this. And then when I wasn't one that went up and then was like that, like where the elephants have been eating at it. But they communicate. Hey, that was one of the first observations watched by scientists. Okay, I better read here. I'm still drinking. I'm just drinking coffee. Okay. Hey, everybody's saying hello, coffee and wake and bake. Oh yeah, I got that too, but I haven't done the baking yet. We don't want the ash borer ridden trees that are taking down and chipping. Yeah, there's some like, that you don't, it's rare. You don't see it here in Southern Vancouver Island, but there are trees that grow in the prairies and in the central middle western states that you have to be careful. I took your advice on wood chips 5 years ago. Oh, good. This year I planted potatoes in my composted wood chip pile. First year using it as soil. I've learned so much from you, Howie. Oh, you're breaking my heart. I love you lots. You're a great person. Yeah. I'm glad you did the wood chip thing. Even if it doesn't really matter what kind of wood chips you get, if you're not using them and you're just leaving them in a pile for nature to break down. The first thing that shows up is what's called dog puke fungus. Just saying. And it's all yellow and then it goes brown. And then the mycelium starts coming on the second year. All kind of mushrooms will grow in there. By the third year, it's going to soil. And it's the best thing you'll ever have. It air with the little chunks, the wood chips, it traps air in there. For real. And that's what you want. You want air in your soil. Oops. Oh my, you have a wrench? Oops. That's good. I thought I got rid of all wrenches, but oh, look at this. David Corey has one too. Yay, wood chips and unsprayed straw for the win. Yes. Yes. So there was 5 types of wood chips. Good to see you, David Corey. Yep. And the ash borer ridden trees, even if you burned them, they're still there. It's good to see you there, David Corey with Crop. The Croppa. Welcome. Just talking about wood chips, there was Norwegian vine maple, a massive old growth one that was chipped. And there was a giant clematis that went through it. And there was an acacia tree, a pine tree, and then there was a conifer there, like a Douglas fir. I didn't get any of that. That was going someplace specific on a horse paddock. That was asked for. It's I don't mind using it in my pathways. Oh, my watermelon are coming along, David. I want to have like tiny little watermelons like that, but it's come along on 2 spots. I have watermelon, little tiny watermelons. My entire watermelon collection on my hugelkultur mound was devastated by the deer and bunnies. I was just making a smorgasbord for the critters. I don't mind. It was fun watching them. I didn't even shoo them away when I seen them eating it. I thought, well, it's yours. Welcome. So much fun. Cheers to you too, David Corey with Crop. If you don't know David Corey with Crop, go over and check his channel out. You can learn a lot. There's a lot of really cool channels in here. Yeah. And thank you for the thumbs up. But the wood chips, I have 5 people from the village coming to move them. And all I'm doing is I'm putting it on top of where I've already put wood chips from like a month ago. I put wood chips throughout the Food Forest trails. So I don't have to be there to instruct too much on where to put wood chips. Just I tell them just put it, and a couple of them know what to do anyway, and just put it where it's already at. And don't put it up to the tree trunk because it was cut down yesterday, these wood chips. So you don't put it to the tree trunk, to the drip line. And the drip line is the outside of the tree. So you can put it up to there. And then here's the trunk. You don't want to put it up near the trunk. Smorgasbord, I plant one for me, 2 for the deer, and the bunnies just wish they wouldn't eat mine too. Right? It's like, wow. I have a problem right now that these houses that came down, that they had rats underneath the ground and mice, and they went everywhere. And some came here, but that was in the early spring. And the owls, they eliminated them, and the hawks. Okay, and but they come at night. They come at night and they raid the trees, and you see all the figs are eating. So yesterday, a very good friend of mine came, and he picked. He's really super tall, so he could pick everywhere. I said, take them all, take everything that's ripe, because they're marauders, and there's raccoons with them. There's rats, mice, and raccoons traveling here. I watched them. I'm like, no, you guys have to go. So I only eat like maybe 1 fig a day because of my glucose level. So I don't mind too much, I don't mind too much at all for sharing wise. But when they decimate everything, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. Nope, it's not happening. 7 o'clock. Cheers. Somebody somewhere. So I'm on guard against there's also these ones that come and take my my sunflowers, but they're stellar jays. And they come and because my sunflowers are huge with seeds on them now, they'll actually sit there upside down and those are for me. But I mean, I share, but I mean, I'm trying to get a few for myself because the lecithin that's in the sunflower, I really need. It's important. And yeah, thank you for all the thumbs up, and thank you for being here. Happy Saturday morning. MKP had to take down all the corn. Heat wave dried it all up. The ears were super small and sad looking. Chickens had a blast eating them. Vincent is still here and he's saying hi. Hi, Vince. MKP, good to see you, 007. And thank you kindly for the thumbs up. So the wood chips, when you put down fresh wood chips, it's okay to put them in the pathways where you're walking. And then the golden rule is with trees, is that you don't put it up to the tree trunk or anywhere inside the drip line. Now, if that's 1 or 2 year old wood chips, I wouldn't really worry about it too much. You can put it everywhere. But it does turn to soil right away. As simple as that. Right? So it's pretty cool. Oh, coffee's going down good. Mr. Jack is gone. Shawnee's gone. Uh-oh. What's going on there? Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, you're back. It says that you're gone. That's strange, hey? I was braiding my hair. Well, that's nice. And it says you're gone. You sure you're you? I'm here to Just, oh, okay. Jeez. I have really silky hair, hey? Blonde, silky hair. It's like super smooth. Yeah. And I used to have a red beard. I used to have a big beard, like a red one. When I ride my bike down the road, it would flap around wildly with my hair flying everywhere. It was quite the easy rider scene. Yeah, very shiny hair. Yeah, and it's still blonde, and I'm ancient. But what it means is if you keep the color of your hair, what it means is that you're absorbing your minerals still. When everything goes completely gray, you're having a disruption in minerals. You're not you're not absorbing them. You know you're you're running out of enzymes for absorption, like digestive ones. I hope I'm right. I could be wrong. Someone could have gave me misinformation, like Google or something. I don't know. It was Google. Yeah. Yeah. So when you keep your hair color, that means you're absorbing minerals. But I see this one lady on YouTube, and big channel, really big channel, and she started getting this gray wisp, and she's like 30 years old. So I said to her, I said, chew your food more, get more enzymes, digestive enzymes flowing, right? And she's like, well, how do you know that? And I'm like, well, I hang out with a couple of scientists and orthomolecular guys and girls, and they tell me these things. So I try to remember everything. So when you got a little bit of gray, then you need to chew your food more, eh? I noticed like 6 people left after I said that. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to help you, right? For real, like 6 people it said that, so that's what it says. But then it says 6 people are here. Yeah. Strange, hey, this YouTube numbers. Oops. Yeah. So we finally got forest fires here. I can't believe I could actually smell it, hey. That's not good. Smell the forest fire. Some lightning strike started fires. What are you going to do? I won't be here for it anyway. I've soaked down the food for us and I'm going fishing. Yeah, out of the ocean. It doesn't matter what happens on land. You're in the ocean. As long as you have lots of fuel. Howie, go catch them setting fires. Oh no, it's lightning. I'm not catching that. Stand out there with my golf club. Right? But on a more serious note, soak down, clear up brush around your property, and right, and make sure everything's soaked down. But don't keep too much underbrush. In the wintertime, burn your underbrush. You're only as smart as the next person. And then, if you have a tree, if it's spiral pruned, it doesn't go up as fast like a Roman candle. Or if you make a buffer zone. I mean, I love trees, don't get me wrong, but sometimes you have to take some out, especially like if it's near a population. You see all these houses, and it just happened here in BC again. And you see the whole West Ridge just burned. It's like, and I thought it would too, because it was a lightning strike, and you could see the trees are all there, and you get that west wind on the ridge, boom, bing, bada, boom. And then last year it was nuts for forest fires, and we get lightning here. And well, get kind of some dumbass humans too. They leave their fire, flick their butt. One lady, and I'm not kidding, one lady was walking her dog, she flicked her butt out on my road here. For real. I went up there, I said, what are you doing? She goes, oh, it'll go out. I said, yeah. What if it don't? What if a wind comes along and it goes over near that grass right there? She looks at me, she goes, "Oh, you're quite the little Boy Scout, aren't you?" And I'm like, "No, I'm just not stupid like you." I said, "Now move along." Yeah, she flicked it right on the road, right beside my house, man. And there's like all that hay in that spare lot. And I'm like, "You dumbass." But you can't cure stupid. You can try to educate them, but there is no cure. Not that I ever found. The poor thing, right? But I still see her walking down the road. The other day, she was walking down the road and she was crying. So I thought, no, I'm not asking her why she's crying or anything, man. I don't need to be involved. I'm just going to run the other way. And that's the best thing you can do, right? Some people you shouldn't talk to. They're energy vampires, man. And not all, though, but some are really cool. Like there's a bunch of cool heads in the village here that are pretty cool, right? They're really nice. Okay, we're looking at the participants. Ooh, David Corey's here, and it says Oops is here. Yeah. How we go catch them? Yeah, I would. I'd do a citizen's arrest on their sorry ass if I seen them catching something on fire. Because I love trees and I love people and I love critters. But there's management of the understory. Laugh out loud, be the duck. Yeah. But there's understory that should be like in the wintertime when there's no chance of it getting out of control, you burn it. Right? Just as the fall rains coming in and all the way through winter, you can burn the understory, and that goes a long ways because that's what happens is it travels along the ground. But if you send in a brush crew, drop it all, and then do a controlled burn with like we have a forest service here, kind of lame though. You never see them do shit. Whoops. Sorry. But what I mean though, they just, I see them all parked there with their trucks year after year, then none of them ever leave. And it's like, well, okay. And then a forest fire happens and they all show up. I'm like, where the hell were you? Here in Minnesota, some fires can burn underground under the snow. Of course. Oh, yeah. Yes. If they hit a pocket of coal seam, it just burns for years and years and years. Yeah. And there's a lot of coal on Vancouver Island that's underutilized big time. Hey, there's a lot here. And that's why the British stopped here to feed their steamships. The coal, the natives went and told an officer on the one of the British ships that there's burning rocks. Right away, the officer's like, "Oh, ping, let's go see it." And then the town of Nanaimo, the town just up here. This city I live in here was because of the gold rush and the Caribou and the Klondike. You had to stop here to get to there, right? And this was the capital of British Columbia, but this was a Spanish colony at one time, Columbia, British Columbia. So when the Spanish lost the war with the British, this became British Columbia. Go figure, right? And yeah, the services in Tennessee never do enough, and crap roads almost non-existent. Well, the thing is, is you get involved and you see the deficiency, bring it to light, and the only thing you really have, oops, is a placard. That's it. You can put up a placard and go, look, you're a dip. Parks and our crap roads. Yeah. Here, there's a lot of parks. You walk down the road, there's a park here, park there, little tiny mini parks to big parks. But they just made a pickleball court. I can spend a couple $1 million on it or more out in the middle of nowhere. I'm driving along. And I'm like, what the hell's that? And we're out in farmland and it's a pickleball court. And I'm like, well, nobody lives here. And they put a beautiful brand new sidewalk to it. I'm like, but there's no one here. Nobody lives here. I'm like, you're dumbasses. I mean, what's with pickleball all of a sudden? I don't know. I think it's noisy and blech. I don't have time for it. And not only that, my taxes paid for it. Of course, they just tried oxygenating the lake here and spent $1.5 million on these little tanks and stuff. And it's still, you can't go swimming in the water. You can't eat the fish there. You don't walk your dog there. They throw money at it. They've thrown like $175,000 at euthanizing 11 deer. I'm like, you people just, they sit up there in their little offices as soon as they get there and they're like, oh, I got 3 years here and I'll get a pension or whatever it is. They don't do nothing. I was down at a park. There was so much excrement inside the outhouse, like one of those portable outhouses. It was up to the rim and it wasn't pretty. And people were like, well, what do you do? What do you do? I said, you phone someone and tell them you got a cholera epidemic happening. I went in there and I went, no, I shut the door. And so I went in the bushes, I dug a little hole, I did my necessities. And then I came back and there was a guy that came out of there and he's like, that just wasn't pretty. And I'm like, nah, that's why I left. I said, the shovel's over there. I left a little hand shovel I found on the beach. I just left it there for people to use in a toilet paper roll on a branch. I'm not going to sit where there's like, ugh, it was gross. So I went to a family friend that's in the city councilor's office there, and I told her what happened. And she phoned someone in the CRD and said, yeah, the guy thinks there's going to be a cholera epidemic because the poop's coming up to the rim of the outhouse. And it's like, oh my God. I said, don't mention my name, please. I have enough problems. I don't need some weirdos coming around telling me what to do. Yeah, it's pretty fun though. But I went down there recently. There's 150 trees there. And there's 150 trees there. And I picked plums. I've got a video somewhere. I should put them up. Or maybe I did. I don't know. I gave out all the plums in the village here. I gave everybody like about 3, 4, 5 pounds of plums each. And they're all happy. They're like, yeah. They drive by, yeah, Howie. And now the kids have a little farm stand there. And I gave them like lots of plums. They got little boxes of plums out in their farm stand. It says Howie's Plums. That's funny as heck. That's pretty cool. Watching them kids grow up. One's going to be a doctor soon. Well, she's in her second year now. Pretty good. The younger kid goes, we learn more from you, Howie, than we do at school. I just thought that was freaking funny, man. Being even close to that pool, who would continue to go in there to full? That's, I know, right? You could, yeah, but when you got to go and you're waiting in the line, well, actually there was no line, but it was on the long weekend. And now we're on another long weekend there. So the park has, I don't know how many, like 50 stalls for people to come in. And then they have hugelkultur mounds going down each stall with all kinds of trees on it. And they have like nitrogen fixtures. It's way cool. But nobody actually knows what it is until I start telling them. And the CRD comes by, the people that control the park and stuff. They're like, oh, we're glad you're picking the fruit, Howie. And I'm like, oh, yeah. Hey, how's it going? I seen you last year here. Yeah, you're back. Hey, Bill. My friend Bill from Newfoundland or Newfoundland, however you want to say it. We say it's the Rock. Hey, I got new citrus, Bill. I got 3 new citrus. I got a Bear's lime, and I've got a lime cross, and I have the giant pomelo. Bill, it's going to get big pomelo by probably a couple 3 years. Bear's lime is, the Bear's lime is, and it's loaded with fruit. It's just absolutely loaded, and I only paid $30 for it. Sorry, got to go by. See you, Rebel Canners Tammy. Check out Rebel Canners Tammy. Very good channel. You want to learn about canning, foraging, and just a nice person. Really nice human being. Much love, mad respect. Rebel Canners. They have some awesome taste. I don't recall tasting them, but I will. I have about a dozen on the tree, and they're not ready. And they kind of look like lemons. They're kind of elongated and they go round really quick. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. Yeah, I mean, you're only trusting what someone wrote on that tag, right? But the nursery over here is closing up. They're leaving, and they didn't do very good business. Well, nobody goes over there. The golf course is right there, golf course. Eek. So, and then there was other questionable characters there. Yeah. So over the years, it's been finally people know about that place, right? Sweeter than other limes, I find kind of better taste. I've never had one. Maybe I didn't. I just don't know it, Bill, right? Yeah. I used to make limonade out of them. Really? I must have tried the Bear's lime. And now that's with two S's, eh? It's Bear with a double S. Because that's what it says on there. And then when I punched it into the computer, Google there, that's what it came up to, that I had spelled it wrong. And they put the S there. And I went, why two S's? That's kind of weird. It must be something to that. There's a reason being for everything. But I ended up with I don't know either, but it's always intriguing, citrus. But I'm putting 5 salmon on the smoker this evening or tomorrow morning. They're in the brine, and they doing their thing, and I got them for a good deal. Yeah, never heard of it. Maybe a cross of other bears, something. Yeah, maybe. I never heard of it either. It was new to me. So they had a 40% off sale. So I ended up getting them. They were in like little 1 gallon jugs, 1 gallon container. So right away, as soon as I had them here last week, I boosted them into an acidic soil of my own. And right away, one started flowering. I'm like, oh, good. I like that. As long as they're flowering, Yeah. But the citrus leaves I like to use in my stir fry. Wow, very nice. But the 1 gallon container may be a little small depending. Yeah. No, I ended up putting them in about a 3 gallon container. And then I up potted all my Murcots. I bought a Murcot from Morocco, just the orange, and had seed in it. Went, well. So what I did is have 5 Murcots, and they're like 2, 3, 4, 5 inches tall. And I put 3 into my family's property in their solarium, and they're boosting along. They're all loaded with lemons, Valencias, Calamondins, everything I gave them. Their Satsuma looks amazing. Oh yeah, this guy, 10, 12, 15 years ago, I don't know, he gives me this Satsuma orange loaded with seeds. So I grew them. And I grew one outside. It was 5 feet, 6 feet tall. Hi, Adrian. And anyway, he passed away about a month ago, right? But the Satsuma about 3 years ago had this heavy cold snap and it completely died. And this year it came back and it's already growing this big. So I'm like, oh. So I'm like, it's rare, right? You don't get Satsuma oranges growing around here, but no, sad buddy died. Yeah, he was really an awesome guy. There's videos of him on here. Yeah, he was such a gentle soul. He had a degree in music, and he taught me how to play the flute. Hey, so he stayed here for years and years. Yeah, and then now he's gone. It's kind of weird that you can't phone him up. You can't go by and see him. It's kind of creeping me out a little bit. Yeah, he was a beautiful soul. But anyway, he realized that this Satsuma was right full of seeds and that I should grow it. So he brings it to me. So I grew it. So I had a nice one here and it died. And I put other ones other places and they lived. Like over at the solarium, I knew it would need to be taken in and put outside every year but they're good till 12 below for a couple of weeks. After that, they die. But about 3 years ago, it died. And now this month, since he passed away, the thing came back to life from underneath the ground. I'm like, wow, this blew my mind. Yeah, yeah. I'm a citrus ATM. I'm in a basement apartment and it's way too cool here for them and a lot less light. Oh, wow. Did you move or something, Bill? Just put them out in the sun. The thing about putting your citrus from inside outside is there's a 2, 3, even up to a 4-week adjustment in partial or full shade, and you slowly bring it back into the light. Okay. And then when winter comes, you put, like where I am, by November, I bring most of my citrus inside. Now, that being said and done, there's people that don't. They monitor it and they put a blanket on it and stuff. And they're long and hard. Yeah, they wouldn't survive there. Not in the summer. The summer is not the problem. It's the winter. Yeah, yeah. Well, I just bring them in and back and forth. The same with figs. If you live where it's cold, just bring them back inside. It's okay. You know, if you get 1, 2, or 10 figs on a tree, you're doing really good. Right? Nice to see you, Adrian. Yeah, hey, Adrian. Adrian's here. Let's see who's all here. Participants. Oops is here. Bill's here. Adrian's here. And that's it. I'm happy. I'm going to go get another coffee. Oh. I think she just left. Who's she? MKP007. Oh, I thought that was a guy. I don't know. They go to this mutual channel where the person, I think they grow hydroponically. I mean, if you got no food. Oh, Rebel Canner's left. Yeah. Yeah, it's too bad. I like her. Maybe a man. I don't know. Yeah, you don't know. That's right. There's room for everybody, though. Hey, Bill. Yep. That's what I tell people when they go, oh, look at that guy, or this, look at that girl. I'm like, well, there's room for everyone. That's your fellow earthling. Carolina Kind, 420 Homestead. Got a load of wood chips mixed with the dirt from a stump removal. Nice. There's your wrench while you're here, Mr. Kind Man. You've been here several times, been to your channel, so good to see you, Caroline Kind 420 Homestead. Cheers. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Actually, I should be using my new glass cup. Oh my, yeah. Got to love free. Yeah, I got 10 yards of mulch. If there's a 420 in the name, we on the same page. Yep. Oh, the Carolina Kind 420 Homestead. He's a pretty good guy. I've been over there. He's really good. Takes it easy, has a good time. There's some good people that go to his channel. So that really helps. Wow, 10 thumbs up. That's pretty cool. Thanks for all the thumbs up. Some people just come and listen to me yap. I have to listen to myself yapping, but you don't. What? YouTube keeps booting me? Robin Gardens. There we go. Got to give Robin Gardens a great gardener. I've actually started going over watching some of her channel. It takes time for me to see the cool people, but I do see them. And thanks for being here, Robin Gardens. Just chit-chatting about wood chips. They're great. And you got to be careful when they're hot. But we're talking about just about anything, though. Good to see you, Robin Gardens. Hello from Chicagoland. Ooh, I have a friend in Chicago. Rainy here, so it's a harvest processing day and YouTube catch up. Raining, hey? Well, it just started raining here. My little dog's nervous because it's windy and she's running around crazed animal. She runs outside, she goes, hides underneath the stairs, and then she runs back in, and it's like, aw. Yeah. Just enjoying a cup of coffee, catching up on the chit chat. I got to run, Howie. We'll see you later. But hey, it was nice seeing you again, Bill. And you enjoy the outdoors there, hey, Bill? Bill goes outdoors lots. Goes on his bike, goes fishing. Yeah, he's a lot of fun. You take care, Bill. It was awesome to see you again there. You're a good guy. Good to see you. Oh, yeah, good to see you too. Yeah. Take care, Bill. But yeah, one's gone, one shows up. Cool people come here, hey? Robin Gardens is here. And it's a YouTube catch-up day. Yeah, YouTube's pretty cool that way. You can go and catch up with pals. You know, there's a lot of little villages on YouTube. Some I don't go to, some I'll just listen to, and some I'll comment in. Like if I go to the Urban Gardener or something like that, or Scott's place, you know, I'll comment, but I rarely comment. Or I'll go to Shaz's channel. She's pretty cool. She's got this little bird named Buddy, and then it's really neat. And she feeds them live larvae and stuff, and yeah, it's like wow, it's totally cool and awesome. I love wildlife. Yesterday was kind of sad after all the trees were cut down. The deer with the little baby deer go running through. I was like, holy crap. Right? And then there was birds freaking out and stuff, but they were ready to leave the nest or had left the nest anyway. So that was kind of weird. And Adrian said hello to Robin Gardens. And apparently, Robin Gardens is raining there, so she's harvest processing and YouTube catch up. I've got a few things to do, but I'm not going out there in the rain and doing it. I'm just not into it. I have lots of bark mulch, and I'm just waiting to see who actually shows up. Everybody's committed. And they came and volunteered. A couple of them I asked if they wanted. Some of the other three, they just volunteered their time. But you're allowed to work here at 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. After that, you don't work here. Someone will report you for sure. I mean, if you had a rooster here, they report you. One kid, this young kid down the road, his grandfather taught him about using the crows to clean up the kitchen scraps and stuff. Someone phoned on them. They're feeding the crows. It's just like, really, a little kid's feeding the crow, and you've got to see. They have to go out and investigate, right? And this kid's the nicest kid in our neighborhood, right? Like he's a sweetheart, he's super intelligent, and he goes snorkeling. He's like about 16 or 17 or something, and he actually walks into the ocean backwards with his scuba suit on, goes or plays around in the kelp bed, and then he comes back. He makes me nervous, right? I told him, I said, you don't do this all the time. He goes, oh yeah, all the time. I just do it. I'm like, dude, be cool, man. He's like, I got my spear gun. I'm like, okay, buddy. So sweet. He's just a young guy, man. I always tell him, be careful. Yeah. Pretty fun. Okay, let's do the spying participants. Oh, there's a ton of them. It says Bill's still here. The YouTube's bull. Bill says he left. But I had a live stream earlier, but it kicked out, and I was showing the wood chip pile. You should be trying to get wood chips all the time, even letting them sit. See, the problem with wood chips is they can get mold. And what happens is you go try to move it, then the mold gets on you. But if you moved all the wood chips within a 1, 2, 3 day window of opportunity, you won't be dealing with mold. Okay. You don't want that breathing that. So what you do is you deal with it right away, or you put it off somewhere and don't disturb it for a year or two. Simple as that. And now, if you do want to go in there and fight with the mold, wear a mask. Wear a mask. Wear some eye protection. Mold goes everywhere. Hey, I'm a mold anti-mold fiend. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan at all. I have very little immunity for anything. So no. But moving the bark mulch to and knowing your wood chips, what's in it. Actually go to the site if you can. And there's different uses of wood chips. There's some wood chips you don't use that you do let. You put it where there's like morning glory or ivy or something, and those are black walnut, whatever that touches. Most 99% won't make it, but some things will, like the black cap raspberry, and some rhodos will grow in that, but everything else, that's it. And then Portuguese laurel or just regular laurel, if that's in the wood chips, don't use it on your trees around the drip line or something. You pass on that. You pass on that big time, right? You don't want to damage anything. But if you have like something there that you don't want, like Cryptococcus in the ground, it looks like white sheets of paper, go ahead and throw that black walnut on there, right? Because that, there's different like Cryptococcus that'll kill the cedars here and stuff. You don't want that. So go ahead and put it there. Like it's a little research. Go look what you got, look it up, and then you're able to use it. And thank you kindly for the thumbs up. That's very kind of everyone. And I've been here how long? 46 minutes. Oh my. Well, oh my. I'll stay a while longer because it's raining out there, and that was an outside day. Not no more. It's raining pretty good. So you have a 3-day window of opportunity to move your wood chips before it gets moldy, and then protect yourself when you do. Wow. Participants, it says that I'm all alone. It says I have 2 up there and no one in the chat. Interesting. If no one's in the chat and there's no one here, I'm gonna leave. Make like a tree and leave. It says there's no one here. Obviously, there's someone here. Adrian's there. It says that you're not here, Adrian. Oh, you're back. It says, yeah. But anyway, it's just that no big deal. But I must say, I bid you all farewell for now, and take care, and we'll see you again next Saturday. Cheers. Robin Gardens, do you have any experience with wireworms? Yes, I do. First harvest Yukon Gold 2 weeks ago, perfect large pot. Harvested Pinto Gold 2 days ago, and there were few damage spots on the large pot. So yeah, so what happens there, Robin Gardens, is that you need more biochar in the soil and on top of the soil. The wireworms actually is a click beetle, and the wireworm's actually the larvae that goes through the leaf. So and then it eats the carrot or the potato, right? Mostly the potato. So what you do is, hey, Fall Dog, how's it going? And so what you want to do is you want to crush the biochar into a powder, and then the wireworm doesn't like it. Not only do you put it into the soil, but you put it on top of the soil. Muddy waters or muddy puddles. Hi there. I was just going to leave, but I'll stick around. There's some cool people in here. But yeah, wireworm is best. It doesn't like It doesn't like the roughage of the biochar. If you've got like damage to your carrots or your potatoes or parsnips too, they'll do parsnips like that. You must up the biochar and powder it. Powder it. That's a key thing. When you load the wood ash into it, powder it and then put it down. And they don't like it. It gets in their little move, like when a wireworm moves, it wears a hole in them and they just die. So they understand. I know it sounds a little strange, but they understand to leave. It leaves. Good to see you there, Joe. Do you have any experience with wireworms? Yeah, I don't have it. I did, but with the massive amount of biochar that I put onto this half acre that I'm on, I don't have them here. But you must put it on twice a year. I like to put it on in the fall and just before spring. And then if I did see where they went into the leaf, because they go inside the leaf and you can see where they went, I'll just sprinkle a little bit. Simple as that. I don't have to do that as much anymore. I had wireworm in my new plot last year. This year, where I ran the pigs first, no problems. Yeah, absolutely. They were digested. Simple as that. Yeah. But you can buy like a bag of crushed biochar off the internet for like $20 or something, and just sprinkle it around. If you got to have a small urban garden, just sprinkle it around. And they don't like going through that. And you should have some in the soil too, because the potato is down there. So if it's in through the layers, they don't like that. They leave. You don't want to hurt the little creature. You want them to leave and aspire to be a creature big and small somewhere else, just not at your place. That's all you're trying to do, discourage them. Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. I'll try that. Yeah, you're welcome. It's just a nice way of dissuading the wireworm. And the click beetle. The click beetle is ferocious creature too, the wireworm. But the big thing is there's a bad nematode here. So they attack the potatoes. And there's certain places you're not allowed to grow potatoes here. Like right where I live, you're not allowed to commercially grow potatoes here because of it, because of what you're doing. You're just exporting this nematode that's not good. And they're not all nematodes are the same. Some are really hard to deal with. Can't have Kevin and Ava in suburbia. I noticed her pigs are getting huge. And her lambs are like, they're sheep now. And yeah, and congrats on your onions. You started them in the winter time, but you were ended up with some nice onions. I'm going to a fall fair where there's 5-pound onions, hey? And that's what they do to get their 5-pound onion, right? Which is massive. It's a massive onion, like it's that big around. And I like huge organic onions. And I've paid a good $1 for them before, like really good $1. And I grow some in pots here, but with it being a food forest, the onions don't really do well because of the moisture. It's always moist here. So I put the onions on the mound this year that did really good. They don't seem to like the water. Yeah, Kevin and Ava. What a name, say. I wonder where Joe comes up with those names. But yeah. What time is it? 7:44. I can't go outside because it's raining, but I have a lot of wood chips. I know all the trees of the wood chips. And one was exciting, but it wasn't exciting to lose the tree. It was a fabulous tree. And it was an acacia tree. It was beautiful to see. You never seen it because all these other trees were out front of it, and it was kind of hidden in there. But that was one of the first trees that was recognized for communicating with other acacia, because when giraffes came to eat the acacia leaves, The other acacias that were around there, they raised their tannin levels, and it was documented. The only way that could happen is if this tree that was being eaten communicated with these other acacia. They're from Africa. I've never seen one growing here. It was the first time. And it was really cool. It grew like in an S, like a snake pattern like that, and then it leafed out beautifully. Yeah, Pete up the road grew a 6-pound one. I'm not in that league. I have loads of bunning and walking onions in the perennial garden. Yeah, onions are they love sulfur. Kevin Bacon, yeah, poor Kevin. He's a sweetie. How could you, Joe? Too funny. Joe and I both had nice onion harvest. Yes, you did. I saw yours as well. My reds are still growing, which is fine because my drying rack is in the garage is full up. Yeah, I went for garlic this year, but they really like sulfur. They just devour sulfur. I mean, armies didn't go to war unless they had onions and garlic. Hey, for real, like that was the way it was. And if there was no garlic, they didn't go. Like whole legions of 20,000 soldiers and the Roman legions said, no garlic, no go. So as the garlic showed up in the wagons, they all march off to war. And they put that stuff all on their swords and on their armor and on themselves. And then they went into battle. So when they were slashed by someone, and not everybody nice in battle, they want you to die later. So they put a pathogen onto it, like excrement. So when it slashed you, you might not have died right there, and you might have killed your opponent, but you'll die later on. So the garlic prevented that, right? But yeah, there's the hogs that you're raising there, Joe. They're delicious. They're the most purest food the way you're raising them. You know, they'll be delicious. And I don't eat pork myself, but a lot of people here do, and they go wild. They get the wild hog, or they raise it organically, and it's way different. And I'll go get some. I'll get the wild one once in a like blue moon, once a year maybe, but it's delicious. Yep. Kevin Bacon. Too funny. Yeah, but you can get attached to chickens and rabbits and creatures big and small, hey? And if you it's difficult sometimes. Like a friend of mine, she named them our chickens all Ginger, Slovaki, so that the kids they still loved the animal, but she needed them to eat their protein, and she lived off the land. What she could get and produce, like rabbits and mostly chickens and quail and stuff. But that's how she fed her children. So kudos to her. But it's healthier than like if you've got like the way you've got your pigs there, you won't get pure pork like that. You won't get that at the supermarket or even the butcher. You just won't. It's just not going to happen, right? Yeah. And yeah, onion growing is a whole art form in itself. And there we go. And the big thing is curing them for storage. If you have an onion, you have soup. And onions have sulfur, so you need an onion or garlic. They're all the same, they're under the same genus, really. Onions, garlic, they're all the same family. But if you have sulfur, the sulfur-rich soil like wood ash, that really all my reds damped off. Yes. Oh, the little bird just came in. There's little birds visit me. Yesterday, I seen all kinds of creatures at dark coming for the figs, but a friend of mine came and he picked all the figs. like all the ripe ones. He didn't pick the unripe ones. He now knows the difference. It's tough to mind your figs. It's tough. You could harvest a fig that's just absolutely tasteless, or you just don't know what you're doing. So the fig has to droop a little bit, and then when you twist it off, there's no milky substance there. If there is, then it wasn't ripe. It's still loading, right? Yeah, red onions are way more better for you. It has an anthracite in there. It's that purpley colored. Yeah, that's it stops free radical damage. Right. So it's good to eat different colored vegetables, especially different colored onions. You eat your red ones, purple ones, yellow ones, white ones. There's a reason for them being here, and it's good to have them when there's none at the store. See, this is why you're growing food. When there's nothing at the store, where are you going to go? Like, I have a few places I can go and stock up my pantry, but it only happens at certain times a year that I can do that with the law, right? Sometimes they close that you can't catch salmon here. You got to let go of the dinner and you're starving to death. I don't think so. I think the salmon's going to go extinct around Howie, and they're shaking. No, I exist. Too much fun today. But yeah, make sure that I'm not sitting here talking to myself, and Joe is still here. Yeah, but what time is it? 7:52. Robin Gardens is still here. Good. I'm here. I'm here. Good. My Walla Walla. Ooh, Walla Wallas are nice. Are definitely reds. I often grow red ruby, but I don't have them logged this year in my journal. So I'm wondering if the seed company mixed them up. Of course. Of course. I've seen people pull tags out of plants at the store, and they're like, oh, where did this go? And they're putting it over there. And I'm like, that's why when I went to buy a beefsteak and I ended up with cherry tomatoes, right? Unless you're doing it yourself. It's like those Murcott. I popped a few seeds in the ground of the Murcott orange from Morocco. I just want one. No specific reason. I want to see how it grows here, right? If I got to take it in, great. But keeping a journal is really good. I kept a journal of all the different corn that I grew this year. I grew black corn, peaches and cream corn, yellow corn, white corn, and then a wild corn from Wild Edibles. And you know, I'll have, I think it's like maybe 5 kinds of corn. I'm going to let them all pollinate. And then, but it's actually black corn. I'm like, I've never seen black corn. But a new in-law of mine came from, he came from China. He went to China, and he was in Beijing, and he bought the corn at the market, I guess, or some market there. I'm not a fan of how they handle markets in China, but I would never go to one. But he lives there, and he really, he gave it to me as a gift. I thought, wow. And then I grew it, and then his sister came here just this year, and she could see all this corn. And I said, "Oh, yeah, that's your brother's corn," and it's all black tassels on it. And I'm like, you never see that. Hey, it's a beautiful black color, and it just looks delicious. And it's almost, the corns are like 5 or 6, and they're just getting about like that. I'm like, ooh, I'm getting close. I tried to grow it into the the veggie garden, the lawn to veggie patch, but the lady that owns the land, she's kind of a little strange. One minute it's a go that you can grow something there like corn, and then the next minute, like a month later, when you go to plant, oh, I don't want corn here. It's like, oh, okay. So then when she was over looking at the corn, she goes, oh, you grew corn. And I'm like, well, I tried to grow it at the lawn to veggie patch. And I will. Let's go to your channel. Make sure that that's my friend. And there you go. Hello, Happy Max 6605. Please show us when you can. I will. I definitely will. And yeah, there you go. While you're here. Yeah. But yeah, it's all these different corn, and then they'll hybrid. There's a corn that there was found last year or so ago that's actually a nitrogen fixer, and it actually the liquid that comes out and fertilizes the soil right at the very bottom of the corn growing. I mean, it's a grass, right? And so it puts this liquid nitrogen into the soil. I just went, holy schmolians, dude. That's what's for me, right? I always try to include as many nitrogen fixers as I possibly can, as many times as I can, like repeats of radishes, lentils, beans, peas, ceanosis, mountain ash. I have both of those. Oh, actually, my ceanosis died. You can't move a ceanosis, even though I know that, and I try to move it anyway. But yeah, they passed away. But I should know better. But I try and try different techniques of moving trees. I try to move trees as much as possible. Like the lot that was just cleared, I couldn't move those giant trees, even though they're absolutely beautiful, and they're worth a lot of money on the when you purchase a property, like a fruiting tree that gives you fruit on a piece of land here with a house on it. You can add $1,500 to your assessment just for one fruit tree. Okay. So if you got 150 fruit trees growing on a half acre, and you're pretty crowded at that, the property value goes like this, because people are looking for it. Now I see real estate people go, oh, permacultural style. And I knew the house. I'm just like, well, they didn't do any permaculture. They just had a nice garden, and they weren't practicing permaculture. There was up on the ridge. They were just good gardeners, right? Which is, really good. But the real estate put down permaculture style. I'm like, there's no such thing. It's either you're doing permaculture or you're not. But it was just a catch. It was a bait, like a clickbait for, oh my God, there it is, right? Which, it's a nice piece of property. They did a lot of work there. I knew them quite well. And then this other alpine rock garden guy, he passed away, and they bulldozed his. I ended up with a couple of them, but I mean, I can't make people, think. It's hard. I'm thinking to reshape the veggie plot. Oh, Joe, okay, what's going on here? Can't do corn here with all the squirrels, so I get mine at the farmer's market. Well, that's okay. That's nothing wrong with that. Can't do corn. Yeah, well, I don't know. If you do corn anywhere, you're smarter than a squirrel. That's wild. Nitrogen fixing corn, right? Right? I'm thinking it was found in Mexico, in northern Mexico. Yeah. You just don't see that. And you know what? Nitrogen fixers are being found all the time. It was never looked at, okay, for millennia. But when you're putting the nitrogen constantly back into the ground and organically, what's wrong with that? Joe says, I'm thinking to reshape the veggie plot so the beds run on contour. I would make the paths clover for the nitrogen fixing. Absolutely. Absolutely. Clover is awesome. I love red clover. I'll chew on red clover. I like it. Robin says, Joe, that sounds great. Yep. And then Muddy Puddles Farm says, Robin Gardens, the pheasant had a lot of corn. Gee, hey, pheasant stew. I haven't had that yet. And there's usually like 30 or 40 quail that come here, even up to 50 quail. They come in this flock. They come in and they do their thing. I do not disturb them. I want them here. And they'll nest here too. I found their nest and other bird nests too. But I never disturb them. And they just come and go. They're California quail, and there's some indigenous quail that come here too, but not as many as the domesticated variety. Oh yeah, the pheasants on your farm are like my rabbits and squirrels. Yeah, they're good eating. I had this uncle-in-law type guy. I was hanging out with his niece, his great niece, when I was younger, and he was in a wheelchair, and it was over by the American border and Canadian American border. So he'd push his wheelchair across the border, pull out his pistol, and shoot the heads off the pheasants, and then he'd send me over there, go get them, Howie. I'm like, okay, man, pheasant, yeah. But he put his little pistol back in his cowboy boot. He's in a wheelchair. So then he'd wheel back across the border, and I'm like, he's got it all figured out, you know. He passed away a few years back, but he was a fun guy, man. He was fun. My pheasants had babies. I couldn't upset them. Yeah. Great website to find specific plants like nitrogen fixers, PFAF. Oh. Yeah, there's ones found all the time, new nitrogen fixers, and I like nitrogen fixers. It's one of my favorite things to do next to chop and drop and biochar. Like if there's a few things that you do, you're going to make out pretty good. It's when you don't use biochar loaded with wood ash. And if you don't have wood ash and you have the biochar, load in steamed bone meal or some kind of organic fertilizer like kelp, seaweed liquid or something. You know, you want it to go into the little holes in the biochar. Muddy puddles. Okay. You're a good person, Joe. I live in New York. Oh, hey, Happy Max says, live in New York, and someone in my birding group put up video, a bob white quail singing his little guts out. So rare here, made my day. Oh. Yeah, going soft. Good for you, Joe. You know, it's karma, man. It comes back on you when people are mean in this world. You dish out meanness and don't care about life, and that's what's going to happen to you. But if you care, you'll get the caring back. And it's just the way it is. And good on you, Joe. Yeah, New York, hey, that's pretty cool. I know a few people in New York City. That's a big city, hey? It's like, wow. Just think, you know, all the millions of people, if there's an SHTF run on food at the store and there's nothing there, you're going to have a lot of hungry people. If you're in an apartment building, weld all the doors shut down below and have escape ladders, because people are going to pick on people in apartments because they know people store stuff. I was watching a prepper guy there recently, and he had some really good ideas about how to recover diesel fuel from all the machinery. They'll be right full of diesel fuel if you've run out of diesel at the gas station. And he was looking at all the places where you could, you know, even making diesel is not that difficult to do. You're still listening. You're back. Braid your hair, did you? Shawnee Gross works hard at growing food and teaching. I'm impressed. I used to have bob whites on the property all the time. Have not for years. Wow. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. The quail is the breast of meat's not very big, but you know, it's very nutritious for you. And they look after themselves. Like the quail that come here, they come and go. And they know it's safe here. And they come here. And just not far from here, there's this big flat area with a little swampy area and a dry hillside. That place is loaded with quail. And I'm like, you go there and you don't have bugs. They eat the bugs. I like quail. I like quail, pheasants, and there's one other one. Kiwi chickens from New Zealand. Yeah. I'm grateful I'm upstate. Going to town takes all my willpower. Oh, you're in upstate New York. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, downtown New York City is fast moving Chevy make a mess of you if you don't know what you're doing there. You know, it's horrendous for traffic and smog. But I heard the smog's not too bad, but the smoke comes from somewhere. Someone blames some country for it, and I think it's funny. You can't blame a country, a nationalistic ego, that it's your problem, it's your country. When a fire happens, it's everybody's problem. It's not just, it's those guys. I don't buy that. You all got to chip in, right? But pollution is a big thing. Be careful of. That was another thing. I've been watching this gardener, and she talked about the mist and the vapor of the Roundup, and they round up her back alley, but she showed the sensitive plants from the vapor, and then showed how the mist traveled. It was very interesting that the nasturtium shows the vapor first, and it curls up and goes all wonky like that. And then there were other indicator plants like cucumber that really absorb the vapor or the mist, because cucumbers constantly needs moisture. If you see someone's cucumber all dried up with one cucumber on it, they failed to mist the cucumber. You must mist your cucumber. Put a mister on them and make sure they never go without water. And when the first ones show up, take them off. And even the second ones, you want to keep them crops going. You must not ever let it dry. No misting for a few days, cucumbers stop. And there's lots of plants like that. Robin, I haven't read what happened, but I wonder what exactly is the cause for. Okay, whoa. Okay. I'm grateful. I'm okay. Oh yeah, the quail, the bob white quail. Yeah. There's two kinds that I've seen here. That one has a little bell, little bob on it, a little bell, and then the other one doesn't. I'm like, huh? Interesting. I really like quail. It's one of my favorite birds, and the hawk's favorite bird too. We have several kinds of hawks here, which is interesting, but they're not picking on these. See, what's happening is all these houses were just knocked down the past 6 months here, and those rats and mice and birds and squirrels and everything that all live there are now traveling. So they travel everywhere. But now my issue is here is they travel here from the previous traveling of going into making a new, a new area where they live. But now they travel from that area at night and take out my figs. And they're actually nibbling on apples because I have ripe apples here. But they just decimate my figs. So I'm smarter than them. I get up there yesterday with a friend of mine, and he had a box, and he's trying to fill his box. I'll tell you. But it's a constant battle, no matter where you are. The bugs can travel here, squirrels can travel here. As much as you remediate and take out, discourage, they're still going to travel here. And I don't have a big problem with that, other than like I have a mole right now, and I've been looking at this mole gadget, and it's $20, and you put it above where he comes out, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to leave it there, and I have like one of those type of plants right on it. And he comes up and he hangs out there, and he's got these little little pink nose and big eyeballs and little hands, and he's looking. I'm like, oh, thank God I didn't kill you. Adrian's saying hello to 3 people. Well, hello, Adrian, the geographer, UK. Adrian has been around a long time. Happy Mac. I have a smart but lazy Cooper Hawk. Nice. Who sits on a spruce tree while I mow my lawn, hoping I hit something for an easy snack. True. Yeah. Robin Garden says, wish I had more predator birds to help with the rabbit and squirrel populations. Had a red-tailed hawk. Oh, those are beautiful. I've had them right in my house. They come chasing in birds and stuff. A couple of years ago, and that had a nice rabbit meal in the yard. So interesting to watch. It is. It's nature. And it can be a little bit, oh no, poor bunny. But you know what? The bunny enjoyed his life, and the hawk is, he's enjoying his life, and that's just the way it is. So I try to not interfere. I did before though, when there's a kestrel, and he was like knocking off the little birds, my pals, right? Like juncos and even the hummingbirds. So I went out there and I shook my fist at him and I said, you better get going, dinner somewhere else. He never came back. He knew I was meaning business, like piss off, right? You got to mean business, man, right? And that kestrel, he flew right down at my face a couple of times and zip, really fast. They look like German Stuka fighter planes. That's what they look like to me, and they're fast, man. And this one is it's the American kestrel. There's more than one kind of kestrel, but they migrate here. But they hang out at bird feeders and wait for the slow ones. And they're fast, man. And this one, after I shook my fist, he came by real slow and looked at me. And I said, F you, get lost, go somewhere else. And he did. He didn't come back. I mean, it's all great and all, but some of the birds that he was snacking on for a couple, 3 days there, I noticed the feathers and stuff. They're friends of mine. I mean, go find somebody else, right? But he did. But I've had Cooper's hawk, red-tailed hawk come right in the house chasing birds, because I let the little birds come in. I throw seed down, and they'll eat on the balcony, and then I leave some on my floor there. He'll come right in, little starlings or whatever it is, right? But I notice there's traveling gypsy moths. I'm putting my feeders, I'm filling them back up. I stopped feeding the birds 3 months ago. Just after the blooms all came off the apple tree, I stopped feeding. I let them do the natural thing. And then I restarted in November, really. I don't want them to get used to the feed that's here that I'm giving them. I want them to go and find natural food sources. So that being said and done, I found on the outer side of the property, because you can't control what the neighbor does. You just can't. You can put an idea in their brain, whether they accept it or not, or are intelligent enough to deduce any proclamations of what you want. Anyway, I have one arm on an apple tree that has a gypsy moth. I don't know. I don't think they're cocoons. I think they're some kind of like a netting. I don't know what you call it, or chrysalis. No, it wouldn't be a chrysalis. It doesn't matter anyway. It's got to go. I'm going to have to cut that piece off. But that just goes to show they come here, right? You can't stop it. Like, even though a web, exactly. And you can see the little guys inside there, but I don't see any birds picking off those larvae. So, or pupa, or whatever you want to call them. We have a particular robin in the yard that is very used to us and does not. Oh, I got to move there we go. I got a little magnifier there so I can see. Used to us and does not scare. We watched, and the robin waited for a buddy before it would enjoy a bird bath. like the second one was a lookout. Absolutely. Absolutely. When the robins come here, they flock up in the wintertime. And I have specific trees that I leave berries and fruit on for them. And then I have a ground because they like to eat off the ground. And what I do is I have the bird bath and I watch them bathe. It's totally cool. They're really smart. But when you're watching them bathe and all of a sudden the Cooper's hawk bang takes one away, then they all leave. They don't like that area. It's hard to get them to come back because, mom, dad, or grandpa, or their sibling or whatever just was grabbed by the boogeyman, right? So they're very smart. And robins, are blamed for eating like blueberries and stuff off the blueberry bushes, and the farmers shoot them. That's not true at all. If the berry falls off the blueberry bush onto the ground, then the robin eats it. Just saying. But yeah, it's hard for the birds to get through the web. It's surprisingly tough. But if you open it, maybe you'll have some chickens in the neighborhood who'd like a snack. I'm going to snip it right off. I don't need that. I'm going to contain it with a bag, and then I'm going to bury it in a bag in the ground, and I'm going to let it rot. Problem solved before they come out. They're not ready to come out. They're only like little tiny guys, and there's a lot. They're really super tiny ones. They haven't come out of it yet. But it came in from the neighbor. I seen it in their dogwood. And I'm like, that makes a lot of sense. But you don't want them going through all the apples. Alrighty, that works too. Yeah, snip it off. But opening it up, that's a pretty good deal too. It isn't easy, and the bird doesn't like to go in there. But you're right. You can open it up. And hummingbirds, it seems a bit quite late for that gypsy moth to be here. That's supposed to have been here like in May and June. This is August now, I think. Yeah. Excuse me. So it's quite late that they showed up. I haven't found any affected apples yet, and I'm not going to give it a chance. There was one gardening outfit down here, and the lady ran out of their, 55 clothes community. She's like, oh my God, there's a gypsy moth. You got to get this. And the gardener's looking at it. And he goes, well, I don't think so. And you can see her, she's getting really perturbed. And she goes, yeah, that's your job. And he's like, no, that's not in my contract to remove gypsy moths. Not at all. And she flipped right out. Come, boys. Come on, mama. My dog doesn't like it when it's windy or raining. She'll go out there and hide in the forest. Come on, mama. Look at you. You're soaking wet. Come on, sweetheart. Come on. In the basket. Come on. In the basket. In the basket. Go on. Soaked to the bone, that little dog, hey? Yeah. Well, if you've got a lot of them, I could see burning them because they would burn up. But removal, put a bag over it if you can, or wrap it with some Saran wrap and then cut it off and get rid of it buried in the ground. That's probably your best bet. I noticed that that lady, she got all mad at the guy, and the guy said, no, I'm not removing it. It's not my job description, because you have a prescription for the land when you're a landscaper. This. She tried to include it. She's not the one she pays her strata fee, but he wouldn't budge. She says, no, you go and you tell your council, and then I'll do it. And I want to get paid for it, right? Because he only gets a certain amount of money for being there for a certain amount of things. Anyway, you see her over there with she found a saw. She saw it all under the ground. I'm like, yeah, that's smart. Mm-hmm. Be careful with what you do. But, what are you going to do? I have seen folks burn them where they are. Yeah, yeah, I have too. A friend of mine that does organic farming, he has a flamethrower. He has a 5 burner flamethrower, and he's attached to this old 1951 Cub or 55. I forget what it is. He has a couple butchered ones there, and he attached it to his Cub tractor, and he goes along in his row because he doesn't till. He'll do a shallow till, like about 1 inch, but he won't go way down. He just won't. He doesn't do that. So the ones that pop back up, he goes along and he just burns them. Right? But he puts a lot of biochar. He doesn't spray. The food tastes so good at his place. Oh, it's delicious. And I love it. I have to drop off a bunch of citrus for their greenhouses soon because I have too many again. And I upped my anything I have extra of, like I have 5 or 6 Murcots. I'll most likely give him 3 to go in the greenhouse. That guy grows everything in there. He grows grapes, peaches. He gets peaches way ahead of everybody else, eh? And they taste good. They're not very big, but they taste good. He grows lychee in there. He grows blueberries in there. And he's got long polytunnels, eh? And he opens them up like when it gets really warm in June. He doesn't have that closed at all. He doesn't use any of the fans. He just opens it up on both ends, and he's positioned it where the wind comes in mostly, so it's constantly going through. And that's a big thing. If you don't have the air in a polytunnel going through constantly, you're going to have a lot of problems like mold and fungus, and you're going to have problems. The strawberries won't taste right. The raspberries will taste like crap because it doesn't have the oxygen. It doesn't have the airflow. You have to have the airflow over the stomata to grab they grab nitrogen and oxygen from the air, and carbon dioxide, CO2. It's 20% of the plant's weight, and fruit is from carbon dioxide, CO2. And you want that aspect. And when you see people closing up their greenhouse, and then my banana died, or this died, or this got problems. Well, you don't have the airflow. If you don't have the airflow, you're hooped. You're wasting your time. You must have. Now, there are some smart people in this world that filter their air and clean it with different filters and ozone machines, and there's ways around it. But on an ergonomic scale, you want to be able to open your polytunnel so the air flows through, and don't make your polytunnel too long. A 30 to 50 foot long polytunnel, 16 to 20 feet high is good enough. But wherever the winds come from, as a rule, like a gentle wind to a stronger wind, you want that opening, like when you plant a row, it's from so the sun comes up in the east and goes out in the west, so it gets a full range on both sides of the row. That's why farmers do that. It's the same idea with your polytunnel, except that sometimes you have to rearrange it where if you're not into putting fans and squirrel cages and all kinds of stuff, you need that airflow, and you'll get a better production of crops. That's what you're doing when you're growing food. You're growing food. My little dog just ran out again. He's only this big, and she's like 19 years old, and she just ran out again into the rain and the wind, and she goes crazy when there's wind or rain. She doesn't like it. I'm like, okay. Hey, Arky. I love this guy. He's cool. Yep. That guy has a lot of knowledge. Yep. I must have a coffee. Arky's here. Oh my. Oh, I'm wearing a shirt. Yeah, this actually I shouldn't be wearing, but it's actually a museum piece. But someone gave it to me, so I wore it. Arky, good to see you. Ah, sweet old pup. Yeah, yeah, she is. She's very protective. She sleeps right here on my shoulder. Yeah. When I go to bed, she comes in up on my shoulder, never leaves until morning. I get up, put her off to my medical bed. Out she goes. Never a problem. Yeah, you creep around outside, she just goes, "Arr, arr," like real light, arr. And then I know there's someone there or a person, right? Sure enough, you go to the door, the person's looking for the doorbell. Yeah, I I love my dog, but she's got old. She's old as the hills, but I looked after her really well. I gave her cans of salmon, can of tuna, can of sardines, the Blue River kibble. It's made from lamb and elk and buffalo. And she loves that. It cost me a fortune though, but I give her like wild game meat that I cook. I don't give it to her raw because then you got a mess to clean up. Because yeah, ah, sweet old pup. Yeah, she is. She totally is. She's really. Thanks for the thumbs up, everyone. Hmm. She totally is. And I have her son too, Mr. Burns, Robbie Burns. There was another one too named Jelly Bean. That one would bark. For 6 months, I didn't sleep. She'd bark if there was dust going off, or there was a spider came in, or a wind all night long, would not stop. So I gave the little jelly bean dog, and it looks like jelly bean for real. It was kind of like how they like that, like the jelly bean. It was weird. It was my sister's dog, but I gave it away to a family member, and I was like, "Yeah, real quiet dog." I said, that dog never barked no more. It just didn't like it here, I guess. Yeah, that's the only thing I could think of. Maybe it missed my sister too, because it was my sister's dog. And looking, but then see, with Denise, it they had maybe the same smell there because some of my sister's furniture and belongings went there. Maybe that's it. But Jelly Bean, here's to you. Bye. It was nice knowing you. Oh, it's Saturday morning, 8:30, light rain. Robbie Burns is a person with Scottish ancestry. I love it. Yeah, yeah. And he acts just like he tries to pick a fight with every dog and person that comes around. And he's only this bloody big. He might be 3 pounds if you're lucky, maybe 4. And he tries to pick a fight. The hair goes up. He's never actually attacked anybody because, I mean, what can he do? But grumpy, oh my God, he's grumpy. And I didn't have him when he was a pup. A family member ended up getting him, both of them, when they were small, many years ago. So you don't know what happened to him, why he's like that. But Robbie Burns, he's an interesting guy, very interesting dog. He'll sit there and he'll go riff, riff, like little tiny riffs. I'm like, so I'll talk back to him, and then I'll go treat, and he's like, ruff, 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 ruff. Yeah, that's what he wanted. He wanted his. I buy the duck treats from. It's duck meat, and it's ground up into rice husk. It's expensive. It's $20 for a little tiny little bag of them, but he loves them. He's just yum yum. He's all over that. And then he likes his fish. He likes sardines, sockeyes, salmon, tuna. He likes anything like that. I give him this really cheap dog food, and he goes over and he goes, no, no. He'll never touch it. He'd rather starve. And then when I brought my robotic vacuum cleaner, my family named my robot Myrtle. So Myrtle goes around like this. The first day we have Myrtle, and a family member of mine gave it to me for, I forget what holiday, but he went over and he puked on the robot. I've never seen my dog puke, but he went over. It was moving around them, and he's falling around, going. Bleh! I'm like, dude, you're like totally Robbie Burns, man. He didn't like that robot, and after that, he didn't bother the robot, but for some reason the robot didn't bother him either, because it goes around the house, and where he's sleeping, somebody will bump into him, right? You know. But he puked on it. It wasn't here for more than a day before he puked on it. As soon as I actually fired it up, it was a little while later. He actually went over and puked on it, because a friend of mine and a family member, they're like, your dog's puking on your robot, and I'm like, yeah, look at that. Hey, he doesn't like the robot. Robbie Burns, yep. My dogs like fresh produce. Luckily, I grow most of it. Yeah, these dogs, they'll what they like is, they go out and they'll pull off leaves and eat it of different plants. They just every year I lose a few plants to them. They eat them. So I don't say not to, because that's just the way it is, right? They're eating it because they need something from it. So I don't. So most people will go, oh no, don't eat that. Don't eat that. I didn't. I never interrupted their feast. I just let them do it. Yeah. And had one friend, he had a dog named Charlie, and carrots are a favorite. Yeah. I've seen that actually. A niece of mine has Australian cattle dogs, and she just gives them a carrot, and they chew it up. Last time I seen them, the beaver beat up her dog, and he was all messed up. I'm like, well, what happened? And I guess, they just take off thinking that the poor beaver was a problem. Chef Tech, good morning, Chef Tech. There you go. This guy's name is Chef Tech Robot Mark. We call him a robot because he talks like a robot, but he's not a robot. He has a little robot symbol there. It's pretty cool. That's awesome. I've seen that before on Gil's channel. Thank you for being here, Chef Tech 86. It's general chit chat about whatever, mostly about wood chips and the use of them. I couldn't fathom myself not using wood chips. I just couldn't do it. I mean, you put cardboard anywhere, put wood chips on it. There, boom. You got a couple, 3 years before a weed shows up. I'll take it all day long. I'm not a fan of weeding and working, like gardening. I try to minimize. Like, I don't grow little seedlings a lot. I just direct sow most everything. I know I'm lazy with it, but I'm a good lazy gardener. I like to do work, but I don't want to do work if I don't have to. So I figure that I'm smarter than the actual project. Happy Mac, I have to gobble down a sandwich, then mow before I get rained out again. I hope to see you again soon. Have a superb weekend, Howie and y'all. You too, Happy Mac, and good to see you. Thank you for being here. Happy Mac's gone. Chef Tech, I won't get chips from the county landfill. People drop bad things. Oh, of course, do not. Right? No. You want clean. Straight from where the tree came down, straight to you. Okay. And then you ask those guys what they're using in their oiler. It's called riparian oil. You don't want a bunch of motor oil or chainsaw oil You want to, and a lot of companies that work in the city have to use riparian vegetable oil, which really is just canola oil. I don't eat or consume canola oil, but I did recently. I didn't feel well. I had fish and chips at this really fancy Greek restaurant, and paid a lot of money to eat there too. And it sure tasted good. And then my friend that I was with asked the waitress to find out if it was cooked in canola oil, but I said no, no, it's got to be tallow. I'm sure it's beef tallow, or because it was so good. And she came back, the waitress came back and says, no, no, that's canola oil. Well, lo and behold, about 3 hours later, I was like, ugh, I don't feel so good. I mean, I can make fish and chips at home, and I feel great. Or I used to go to this one place down on by the park, and they used beef tallow or lard, whatever, and they didn't use canola oil, but they burnt my fish. So I told him, I said, I'm not here to eat. It looked okay, but then when I broke it open, it was kind of blacky inside. I said, I don't want to eat that. I'm paying you $20 for a piece of cod or halibut or whatever it is. I don't think it was. I think it was some kind of bullhead or something, some sculpin from somewhere. But if you're going to eat food, just remember you don't want dirty fuel. Just like Mark doesn't want dirty wood chips from a landfill. It really makes a difference when I'm eating food and I know I can just eat it, like hand to mouth, because I haven't done anything to it. But Uncle Al, he pointed that out. Hand to mouth is questionable, and he's absolutely right, especially if you don't know what was there, right? Robin Gardens, looks like I have a break in the rain, so I need to go out and check on the garden. Have a great day, chatty friends. Hey, yeah, you too, Robin Gardens. Always a pleasure. See you, Robin. Storms Radios. Mr. Barry, there you are. There's your wrench. Cheers, Barry. Good to see you. I take my holly tree trimmings there. Yeah, they're high in tannins, dude. I like the female holly tree because then you have the berries. The male doesn't. And a lot of people don't know that. They go and they buy holly tree, and they're expecting the holly and all that. It's just great if you're making like wreaths or whatever. But I like the berries on it. And when the berries freeze on it, it's really funny to watch the robins eat the berries that have frozen. They're kind of a little bit boozy, like alcoholic. And and you see them all look like they're messed up. And I was watching them after they ate a whole bunch. They could barely walk. I'm like, wow, they're drunk. Totally too funny. Yeah. Thank you all for the thumbs up. Yeah. Robins are good eating. They have a nice breast of meat, much the same as a quail. When I was a kid, I had to live on this island over in the Pacific. No, I wasn't a kid. I was in my late teens, but still. So I would grab a few robins for dinner, grab 2 or 3 of them. There you go. I used to hunt the birds. I used to hunt green-winged teal, mallards, and wild chickens, and that kind of thing. Because you're in the wilds, right? You're living off the land. There's it's frowned upon now to go and just live in the wilds. It's frowned upon heavily. The forestry will come and burn you out. That's the first thing they do. They burn the place in the winter, right? So you tend not to show anybody where you are. Caves, well, they can't really burn a cave, but they can bulldoze one. Just saying, right? Or fill it up with foam or cement or whatever there. And thanks, fellow Earthling. What a joke that is. But they're programmed, you see. They've been neuro-linguistically programmed. And they have a god. It's called the money bill. Right? They get paid to go and do that. So someone out there doesn't want you living for free in a cave like where you come from, because we all come from living in caves, right? That was man's first home, right? Like way back to 50, 60,000 years ago, a flute made from a bear's leg was found in a cave in Spain. Okay. All right. So caves offered protection. There's only one way in, and you don't got to worry about this side, that side, or what's behind you. You just got to worry about what's coming at you, which makes a lot of sense. You don't have as many avenues of approach, so it's really a Albert Johnson type thing. The mad trapper guy. That's what he did when he made his dugout. You had to go down in, turn right, go down, turn left, and then he was waiting there for you. Bing, bada, boom, right? Pew, pew, pew. And it's the same thing when you build your cave. If you can just, and it doesn't take long to build a cave. Dig it out and put a cob oven in there with a pipe, right? And you're heating the cave, and there's only one way in, and I've seen it done in a day or two, like for real. So anyway, my prediction is that one day that's where you're going to be underground, especially when it gets too hot. I don't know if it's a prediction, it's a common sense thing. When it gets too hot above ground and it gets above 50 Celsius, so like when it hits 60 Celsius, or your lung will go pop. So, but if you're underground by say 15 to feet or more, it'll be half the temperature. So when that day goes by, you can come out at night. It won't be 50, 60 Celsius. And I just watched this guy I've been following for years. He lives in Yakutia, and they cut blocks of ice and they put it down underground in a cellar, right? And they put all their meat in there and fish, and they only get summer for a couple months a year. But here's his son, and he's got his lawn chair, and he's hugging this block of ice because it's really hot. It's gotten too hot to be above ground. And I always tell new people or people that when I'm leaving, just remember, if it's too hot above ground, it's nice and cool underground. And just think, it's not that difficult to attain something like that. I know if you live in an apartment, okay, just leave the apartment and go find a place to dig the cave. Or there's many places that are underground, from mines to subways there's a lot of underground places. Like here, that's all blocked off and welded up, all the entrances to tunnels and stuff like that. It wouldn't take too long to break out the old cutting torch and pry bar, just saying. But underground, it's the future, because it's not getting any better. It's not getting any better at all. Kentucky is one huge cave system. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. The Blue Ridge Mountains, that's all full of caves. Tons and tons. There's caves all through from Scotland to Turkey. You could actually go underground for a long time. I'm just so excited. It's groceries day. I'll be cooking. Yes. Try not to cook your food too much. Just saying, calcified food. It's accumulative. The more raw food you eat, the less calcification. There's two types of plaque. There's kind of mushy plaque, and then there's hard plaque. And it's accumulative. So if you want to live into your 90s and 100 years old, eat a little raw food, mostly raw food. Well, cooking the meat, well, depends. I mean, definitely would cook chicken fully, definitely would cook pork fully. And then beef, well, you might sear it on two sides. And then you got to remember, that's where your vitamin C comes from, is the raw meat, hey? But if you've got beef that you don't know who handled it, cook it fully. It's just all what you're doing. And like fish, that you salt it a little bit or roe, or that's what I do. Don't eat their lettuce. Well, again, that can be problematic. See, the biggest problem with cool weather crops is the farmer sprays his manure and then he sends it off to market. Not all, most know the difference. And a lot of people grow their own. But some people that are picking that lettuce with their hand or a dirty old glove, pathogens don't care who carries them along to finish off the host. Okay, they don't care. There's no, you can't negotiate with it like pathogens, right? It doesn't work. Yeah. So when you put your trust into someone and faith, you be very careful. Yeah, I've actually declined food from food tours because I seen the person touching everything, taking money, taking the credit card, not washing their hand. I just don't need a problem. And so some people get really offended. Hey, that I'm sorry, I don't shake hands either. I don't shake hands. I won't. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to. I don't know where you put your hand on when you wipe your butt or whatever. You pick something up off the ground. I like to be careful. I'm not saying being overly cautious. I'm just cautious all the time. I question everything. Why is this happening? Where is it happening? Who? How? What's going on here? And it's the who, what, when, where, why, and how. It's a half second flat. Then it's the visual, and auditory, look, listen, and then the brain's using it's called learning. Look, listen, and learn. So who, what, when, where, why, how. Look, listen, and learn. And then there's the copacetic part of governing accordingly, and it's called the 3 C's: calm, cool, and collective. So you're doing all this in a half second flat, a millisecond. Whenever you're doing anything, and it becomes natural, right? Muddy Puddles Farm. Hello, excited for your seeds talk, August 14th. Seed talk? Really? I'm down for that. Yes, me too. It's taking a long time to get organized. Work and farm both gone mad all. I'm having green tea with super antioxidants today. Matcha all the way. People in Okinawa and other parts of Japan that drink matcha tea, a couple cups a day, they're 120 years old. Why? Well, it's got a lot of nutrients in there, but it also has a lot of green. Okay, green tea. Hey, Bill's back. Hey, buddy. Thanks for the thumbs up. But yeah, matcha tea is a big thing. And any tea, really. When you drink water, you're actually flushing minerals, eh? So add something to it. You want your electrolytes. So if it's a tea, then with a spritz of lemon or lime or whatever at the end when it starts cooling, you don't want to kill everything. So yeah. Do you know anything about shoe button ardisia? Never even heard of it, Bill. Sorry. My sister has one in bud now. I don't know what they're about at all. Google it. Right? That's best I could tell you. Shoe button. I've heard that name. The other part, ardisia, I never heard of that. But shoe button, or no, I've heard of bachelor button. I've heard of comb buttons. Thought you had some hands-on experiences. Well, no, I'm sorry. I don't know, Bill, but good to see you again, Bill. But I'm going to look that up. Shoe button ardisia. Now you've got me where I want to go and check it out. I'm on a live screen. Good to see you too. Yeah, I hadn't seen you for some time. And but I knew you were out there just enjoying life. You're having a good time. And that's what it's all about. If you're not having a good time somewhere and you can't make it happen where you are, and the advice I give to my fellow Earthlings are that leave. Make like a tree and leave. Got me wondering, shoe button. Yeah, what's a shoe button? Ardisia. I think that's what Bill called it, Ardisia. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna check that out. Someone check it out and let us know what it is. It's budding apparently at his sis's place. Shoe button, shoe button. Yeah. I'm always constantly learning about plants because in any area that you're in, there's 1.2 million types of flora and fauna. Okay, that's a lot to take in. It says there. I thought it was some type of umbrella tree, but I was wrong. Oh, shoe button, shoe button, shoe button, shoe button. It must be flowery type or something. The shoe button plant. Yay, you come through, also known as the duck's eye. Oh, really? Hey? You have Ardisia elliptica or Ardisia humilis. I'm a learning. But for real, like there's a lot of type of plants and there's new ones introduced to your area all the time. Many names for things. Yep. Things in different areas. Yep. Shawnee knows her stuff. Thank you, Shawnee. Yep. She'll research and know everything there is to know about it. Yep. Very impressive earthling. And I like impressive earthlings that learn and do their research and they learn and they learn. And they know what's what. And it's so important. It's so important. You're building up a repertoire of foods and medicines, textile materials, that kind of thing. Like which one you can use for dyes and mordants, and you get in there and it's vast. Okay, it's very very vast, and you're getting into tubers, rhizomes, and bulbs and bulbs, and it doesn't end. Like for me, I've researched before there was an internet. Okay, so I had to go out and get a book, go out and find it, identify it. Some things weren't that easy to identify, like Canby's lovage. I didn't know it was Canby's lovage for 3 years until I found it in Lewis and Clark's books. And I'm like, that's got to be it. I counted the florets, I counted the structure, the leaf structure, under the structure, the root, the inside, because it looks very similar to water hemlock. And I was over at a friend's place, and my friend likes to weed by hand. So my friend reaches down to a datura and starts pulling on it. I'm like, no, let it go, let it go. And then my friend had also euphorbia. I'm like, don't touch those. You just don't touch them. I mean, euphorbia, there's a little short one like this, like 6 inches tall, that can give off a gas when you walk on it. And they sell it to you at a nursery. And then there's other euphorbia that can grow 15, 16 feet. And Bill Mollison, co-founder or founder of permaculture, whatever you want, everybody's claiming the fame. But Bill was there first. he ended up putting it around the women in Africa. They put it around their food forest so that spider monkeys couldn't come through, because nothing eats euphorbia, but hedgehogs do, right? But no other creature on the planet can touch it, and you go blind, or there's even worse, And I've been attacked by the one that I walked on. My face went like this, and it looked like a giant pumpkin for a couple, 3 days. And the doctor was this old Swiss doctor at the clinic that was like a little hospital out on the peninsula. And I'm in the chair looking like a pumpkin. He jumps up on the chair and he's like, euphorbia got you, huh? And I'm like, yeah, I guess so. He goes, oh yeah, this is a euphorbia poisoning. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not feeling too good. And he gave me a cortisone creams and he put it on so my face didn't crack. And then he's like, you're lucky it didn't go in your eye, you'd be blind. Right? I'm like, well, I work with plants, doc. He's like, well, I could tell. I mean, I got green stained hands, and I smell of pitch from the tree I had cut, and you know, and this is what he says to me. He says, and then he gets off the chair. It's one of those examining chairs, a big light. He's got it in there, and he's looking all around. He's looking up there because you're going to be okay. It didn't go in your eye. There's no scarring, and he's looking in there. You're going to be okay. Meanwhile, I'm taking this head of mine. I mean, it's this much bigger than mine. Like it's out to here, right? Like it really, you can barely see. It was so like I couldn't see at times. But he got in there and he's like, no, you're going to be fine. You got to put this cream on. He says right away. And he didn't send me to the pharmacist or anything to get it. He went and got it for me. This old Swiss doctor, hey. And he was old, man, but he knew what was going on way before I even opened my mouth. He knew what was going on. That's impressive. Now, when you go see a doctor, they give you a prescription due to whatever ailments you have. Oh, this is for you, this is for you. Or they'll lower the bar for whatever disease and give you a pill for it when the bar is supposed to be up here. I'm done with all that. Yeah, I'm done with that. No, I refuse to go. If I do go to a hospital now, I go to the research facility on the mainland. There's a huge hospital there. They're very thorough. The rest of these places, you're taking your chances big time. For real. It's not pleasant. Love just sitting here listening. Oh, hey, Bill. I'm glad you're here. Howie, you blow my mind on the stuff man. Seriously. Well, it's just common sense. Doctors treat the symptoms, not the cause. Well, yeah, you have a symptom. Oh, this pill's for you. Well, why did it happen? Right? Like I had to lower my A1C so I could get had a serious operation a while back, a couple of years ago now. I almost didn't make it, and I didn't want the operation. But yeah, because of the high glucose level, right? The infection just rampant. Muddy Puddles Farm, try the PFAF website. Shoe button doesn't match a shirt, but Ardisia did, related to japonica, used in Chinese herbalism, used often for bronchitis, hen's eyes, or spicy spiceberry. Wow. Datura is a mess. Yeah, Datura. Palladium. I used to have one here, the big trumpet flower. I got rid of that. I didn't want that. I actually just let it die in the cold. I didn't bring it in. I don't want my dog going. It's known as the death tree in Colombia. I mean, why would you want that? It's just not. It's not for me. Love just see, yeah, doc, yeah, just taking the dogs out. Back in a minute. Okay, Joe Barry says my general practice doctor is named Smart. It's misleading. True story. I bet. Hey, yeah. Well, I mean, I'd rather go see a horse doctor myself because the animal can't tell them anything, they can't communicate, but they have to figure out what's wrong. Really? And here you got a human, and the doctor can't figure out what's wrong, but you can talk. Really? I'm not a fan of going to any place that's negligent, stupid. They don't know they're here. They don't care about you. There's no love. Go to a different institution where there's love. Just saying. You don't have to put up with their garbage. You just leave. Bye. Right? Go to a doctor here on YouTube, and he's got millions of followers. And I went up and I talked to him privately, right? And he said, and I told him what was going on. And he's like, you have to go somewhere else, Howie. There's no love there for you. You just leave and go somewhere else. And he was right. He was absolutely right. In Canada, we have a socialistic healthcare system. It sucks. One size fits all. No, I'm sorry, it doesn't. No, not at all. But on a more serious note, this has been fun, but it stopped raining, and I have a lot of wood chips to take out, and you all take care of yourselves, and remember, If it gets too hot above ground, be like the bear, the wolf, the bunny, the rat, the snake, the ferret. Go underground. Okay. Later, all. See you, Bill. It's nice seeing you. Remember, underground's nice and cool. Hey, oh, Vay, I'm just heading out. Oh, that's right. It's Saturday morning. I keep forgetting about Vay. We could have raided you. You take care, Vay. Let me give you a wrench while you're here so you can come back and remove any weird comments or something. Love you lots, Vay. Take care. Have a blessed day. And oh, hey, I hope Lucy's doing good. Yeah, take care, Barry. Good seeing you. Have to find my way out of here. End stream now. Take care, and we'll see you again when we see you. There's a wood chip video coming out if you want to watch it. She's a lot better. Good. I like your dog. And I like the dog's name, Lucy. It's one of my favorite names. C of A. Take care. Much love. Your stream will stop immediately and you will no longer be live. That sounds good to me.